Hey everybody, and welcome to the next map that I'm going to play, which is Frozen Altars, and is part of the Ansem Darkseeker Map pack that we have discussed earlier with the Desert Ruins map. Now this map pack contains a whole lot of different maps, and also in different styles. Some cartoony, like the Desert Ruins one I did before, but also some that are more realistic, like the Geonosis Foundry, which we will also see in the future. Now here though, with the Desert Ruins, I said that it kind of reminded me of PlayStation 1, Nintendo 64 style of like maps, but also a visual quality. And I have to say that this particular map gives me that again. If you look here, the color scheme. But something else I noticed is the name. So this is called Frozen Altars. And of course with the Desert Ruins, I already said, it reminded me of things like Spyro and Crash Bandicoot. And what do you know? In Spyro, Year of the Dragon, which is the third Spyro, and actually also the only one I've ever played, way back in the day, there's a level called Frozen Altars. So I think it is pretty safe to confirm that these maps do indeed take inspiration from Nintendo 64 / PlayStation / that type of era, you know, of visual quality. I don't, for example, know if the Desert Ruins one we did before was also based on something. I don't actually know if there's a Desert Ruins level in Spyro. I mean, it's a pretty generic name, so I assume there might be. But, yeah, no, Frozen Altars there definitely is. If you look at the color scheme, it also looks quite a bit the same. It doesn't like use textures, it just uses, I think this is like Yavin 4 architecture, and it changes up the colors a lot. I will tell you this, the map is pretty big, and you can also see here that if you're playing in the Galactic Civil War era, which I actually chose on purpose because if you use the Clone Wars, you get the exact same units as you did with the Desert Ruins, have some cool new skins and some cool new heroes. Now here's the thing, even though I do like these cartoonesque maps, you know, I like the color scheme, I like the design, I do have to say that within a minute, I can already tell you that I do prefer Desert Ruins, purely by layout. This map is a lot wider, where Desert Ruins had a lot of like corridors surrounded by like green lava. This here is all very wide, and the problem is that there's nothing in it. So I would say that definitely something to improve this map is to have more objects within the map layout themselves, because even though the buildings do look kind of cool and colorful, the map itself feels kind of empty. And of course, again with the Desert Ruins, you had like the you know, Greek architectural pillars. You had like the Spartan helmet made out of stone. There were nice and cool objects hidden throughout that really did not make it feel, you know, very empty. This cave is another example where, you know, this just feels like, I don't know. You can see the pattern repeat over and over and over again, which I understand is, of course, the norm with textures. But if you would have objects in between there, it would not be as noticeable. Let's actually go capture this. Also, one thing with the map being a lot wider, you can definitely also see that there's not as much combat going on as in the Desert Ruins. The Desert Ruins is very small, and still provides a lot of different gameplay, because you have the cave systems, you have the area inside the temple, and I don't know, there's just, I think Desert Ruins is, I don't remember if I had a flaw on that map, but it might actually be a flawless map in that sense. Again, this is again one of those maps that, with this being so wide, you could easily have some vehicles here to spice things up. This is again, you know, infantry only. Oh, look at that. We're gonna play as Darth Vader. This is a new Darth Vader skin, though, if I'm not mistaken. He looks a lot more high res than the normal one. I mean, this would even be good for, like, having 1 or 2 flying vehicles on each side. Ooh, jeez.
command post is under hostile control. Our reinforcements are thinning.
You can see that the rebels have also
Never defeat me.
have some new skins. It all looks very nice. But again, the units are the same on the other maps as well. So that's not necessarily a thing that's particular to this map. We'll capture this. See, this here inside, look how much, I mean, there aren't objects here, but the textures on the wall, you know, are not the same color. Let's say these suns and these paintings were not here, then it would look very strange and sort of like monotonous. But just by having the sun, and again, they're the same suns, the same pictures, but still, it creates depth, it creates variety, and it looks really nice and pleasant. So you don't need to do a whole lot in order to make it feel more organic. So yeah, you can definitely see that now the battle is shifting to the open. It's because they lost their spawn in the cave. How does the choking work? Do I need to stand still? I am having a lot of fun with Darth Vader though. I have to say, I mean, these animations are also new, right? I don't recognize them from the regular thing. This is pretty cool. Like, it looks more fluent. I could be wrong and it's the same. I was wrong too with the droideka in first person. I actually checked that out later, and in the vanilla game you could indeed go to first person. I don't know why I thought you couldn't.
We've captured a command post.
I did actually see that in the EA Battlefront 2, they are also introducing droidekas. I did actually get a question if I do play Battlefront 2 of EA, and I do, and I don't hate it, but it's also not, you know, as good as this one. But I'll definitely do videos on it if people want to see that. I don't know if I want to do reviews though, but maybe some stuff like new modes and stuff, see what they are, if they're good. Imperial pilots. Because again, the game does look great. It's just that it doesn't feel as epic with some of the maps being kind of small, limited, and of course, I do to give them props that they, you know, keep updating the game. So apparently that Supremacy game mode or whatever is kind of cool. Never played it yet, so I want to check that out. Hell, I have never even played the Geonosis map on Battlefront 2 EA, so maybe I should do a video on that someday. Also, probably on the summer sale, which starts very soon, I think actually tomorrow on Steam, I'll probably get Battlefront 1 and do some Battlefront 1 mod reviews as well, because I've never done those, and I do know that there are some exclusive ones that apparently are pretty interesting. So snipers are obviously quite good in this map, with the towers. Not all towers, well, oh jeez. So the battle itself now becomes a little bit monotonous, but that's not the fault of the map itself. You can see here we have captured all of the right, and all of the rebels can just spawn here on the left, and so the battle will only be on this. Again, that's not the fault of the map. We just, you know, we conquered this one, so that is not something that I will critique the map for.
What is thy bidding?
Oh, wrong side. I mean, you can even see that there's a little bit of combat going on here. We actually did lose one.
A command post has fallen to our enemies. We've lost a command post.
Well, that's good. Now they can at least spawn, and we have a little bit more of right. Well, not if I just capture it. I'll leave them alone, and I'll go slay rebels here.
Fallen to our enemies. We've lost control of a command post.
Already?
Cannot comprehend.
Oh, they took the top back. Look at that. Very interesting. Well done, rebels.
A command post is under hostile
I say
control.
rebels. It's actually the
We've
Alliance.
lost control of a command post. A command post is under Imperial control.
Fixing the turret.
A command post is under hostile control. Our reinforcements are thinning.
Now again, to remind you, the link to this map can be found in the description down below, but it is a map pack, meaning you will get a lot of different maps with it. Whoa! Did you see that? I like stomped the... Oh, I don't know how I did that. I could not repeat it. Man, the Rebel units have some very cool weapons too. Next time will be a Galactic Civil War and Ansem Darkseeker Map pack, or a map. I'll play as them. Some awesome stuff. They have also a unique hero. I couldn't really see 1, 2, 3 who it was. Was it Kota? Man, their rotary gun units are badass.
Control of a command post.
Very cool. Let's see, we got this. Oh, look at that, they're taking back the cave. Very interesting. I take back my words. They are able to push back hard. Very nice. Well, that actually does say that this map is quite well playable with AI. They dynamically will take back areas, and there's a lot of play there. And again, with the critique with objects, it's not a super bad critique. I don't think it like ruins the map. I just think, again, it's stuff to improve, I think.
Command post is under hostile control. Our reinforcements are thinning.
Ha! Rocket to the face.
They're trying to flank us.
They're flanking us.
Or, for example, with this, right, it's like a tunnel, it's like a cave, so you cannot really place a whole lot of objects, is maybe add a little bit more variety in the textures themselves. You can see that we definitely are in the final run. Oh, I hit my own guy. No, there you go. I did get like a whole bunch there. Do I want to go to Darth Vader one last time? Not necessarily.
Tis thy bidding.
A command post is under hostile control. Our numbers are being depleted.
Let's see. We are actually losing this. Look at that. The rebels are coming back. I'm going to do my final thing though now. People, if you want to download this, again, check out the description down below.
Defeat me.
If you want to see any particular map or mod that I review, please let me know in the comments down below and we'll get to it. Of course, we got the crazy Pepperland last time. Some of you also suggested some other crazy maps. And again, the cool thing here, because I said that too in the Pepperland, is that we're now also finally playing maps that I've never played before. A lot of the maps I've reviewed until now, I have reviewed in the past. Oh god, sorry. Oh my god, that was a reflex.
We've captured a command post.
I've never
We're
played this
losing
frozen
reinforcements.
altars map. You do not get away from me, rebel. Now it becomes a little bit looking for a needle in a haystack. It's not as annoying as some of the other maps though that have that. See, I would have liked to see, for example, more corridors with textures like this. Even the textures on the outside are nice with that very little pattern over there. It's nice to look
We've
at.
lost control of a command post. Our numbers
4
are
against
being
1. We're probably
depleted.
gonna lose this. Oh, there's one.
We've lost the command post.
Come here.
Take it back. Our reinforcements
Here.
are thinning.
Oh! Oh, it is! Die. We might win. Don't go anywhere. I'm gonna choke him. Stand still. Alright guys, that is it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.